Welcome to episode 39 of this Let's Play series. My name is DasTactic. Welcome to the channel. I hope you've been enjoying it. Again, I keep on forgetting to thank you guys for supporting my content. If you are a Patreon supporter, massive thank you for the ongoing support. If you've been supporting even on coffee.com, thank you. Likes and subscribes are great. Anyway, I'll just continue on. Now, in this episode, we're going to be looking at nobility. Now, at the moment, let's have a look at the change of what actually happens. At the end of the last episode, we did get some diplomacy with the mountain homes. So if we go and have a bit of a look, you'll see that we've got currently an expedition leader. So we've got Odom, who met with the liaison from the mountain homes. We've got a militia commander who is in charge of our very scratchy militia, which we'll have to address fairly soon. We've got the sheriff in through here as well, who hasn't really had any real role to play. I haven't built the justice system yet. I was going to do that one episodes ago, and I just haven't got to it. Hammer is tied in with the with this system as well. So the Hammerer in the early days of the fortress, you essentially end up with the expedition leader will sort of run the fortress, and really we're well and truly over where this should have actually kicked out. Like they should have actually had a mayor by now, but this is where we are. We've had very, very few people up until very, very recently, so we've got to be thankful for what we do actually have. The sheriff and the hammerer. The hammerer is sort of dispenses justice, and the sheriff controls basically what's going on. Just from a small town perspective, as we get up to these bigger numbers, like around about over 50, we'll start to find changes in through here as well. Now we have the expedition leader as also our manager, got the chief medical dwarf, and now Lemel we've made into the Baroness. So we've advised the liaison to appoint her as the Baroness. So the liaison right now will be just going through and trying to figure out, is she worth it, is she not, so on and so forth. Broker in through there as well. One of our so the broker is essentially also our one of our best miners, and so we've actually got some trading to do. So Udib will come through and start that trade. We've got then the bookkeeper through here, so Alath, the bookkeeper as well, and we don't actually have any more militia captains or messengers. So we'll start to see that this screen will change potentially in this episode, I would guess. You can see there that there's no requirements anywhere. There's everyone has got what they require in terms of he requires a mega study. He's got a splendid study. He's also got a great bedroom. Down through here, the sheriff has got requires modest study, modest quarters, and also a modest dining room, and that certainly has been ticked off. So yep, we've got all of those things actually done, but we'll now start to find that as we get more nobility, we're going to have more and more need for meeting requirements. And so I'm just going to let the game run forward a little bit. We'll start the trading in through this side. I'll just move the goods to and fro. I'm just going to really just go to bins and just go to my finished goods bins. Like I've got 3,000 worth there, 4,000 there, 3,000 down. That's armor. I don't want to let go of armor at this stage. Another finished good there for 1,000. Weapon bin for 5,000. Don't want to move the weapons bins, so we'll just move them over and wait for them to actually come back through. So yeah, just got the merchants have arrived and are unloading their goods. There we are. Need leather and stuff for these. Here comes the first of them. Let them bring the stuff across. So we've just been getting knickknacks really. Oh, here you go. Got some more migrants have arrived. That's awesome. And here we go. Now this is the start of everything. So Odom, the manager, has been elected as our mayor. So he's actually now gone from essentially the expedition leader and has been elected by the whole populace into being the actual mayor. Sorry, there's someone working outside. I hope the noise isn't too much. Yeah, I can't see, but I think it's just some sort of power tool somewhere. Hence my liking to do my recordings in the early hours of the morning. Anyway, let's continue on. We're just going to click on OK and then just quickly pause again. We've now got some changes that have actually occurred. And so you can see through here when we hover over this one. So if I go and click on this one, Log Mage, which is paint daubs, and the surrounding lands have been made into a barony. So this is actually now, so we've sort of got control, not just of our fortress, but also the lands around us are also within a day's walk, which is essentially 6 tiles. Doesn't mean that they're all going to come and join us, but we have more control over those lands than anywhere else. So we can sort of we can push our weight a little bit out from that particular region. So Odom, the manager, has been elected into the mayor as well. So we can sort of just go across and just see that he's actually celebrating by drinking some barley wine. He's hauling his granite mug and he is drinking, I think it's a barley wine barrel underneath there. Yeah, barley wine barrel. So he's partaking to celebrate being made the mayor. And now if we go back and have a look directly after, this is actually good timing, because as soon as we go into here, we're now going to see a whole other different realm of what's actually going on. And so we now see that we've got some very, very different things in the actual fortress itself. We now have the Baroness, so Lemel has been made the Baroness, and she has a whole lot of other different requirements in through here. Now the mayor also now has other requirements that we hadn't seen before. So when we have a bit of a look at this one, we've now got Lemel requires a decent study, decent quarters, decent dining room and a tomb, plus also requires 2 chests, 1 cabinet, 1 weapon rack and 1 armor stand. So she's got some quite like elevated demands now, just in terms of her own living standards. The mayor, Odom, has gone from his beautiful study and quarters. He does have a splendid study and great bedroom, but he needs his own dining room now as well, so we have to give him a dining room. And he also now has requirements for chests, cabinets, weapon rack and armor stand. So these have now become much higher level in the nobility of the actual dwarves. So they're of higher standing. They deserve to have better quarters. So we're going to have to sort of look after that one and sort of build, and we'll focus on that in this episode. The manager, back through this side, you can sort of see has still got the same requirements. Now, his requirements as a manager haven't changed. It's because he is the mayor. Now, we have a few other different roles in through here. Actually, I just went and had a bit of a look. The mayor becomes available when you're over 50 population. So essentially that's the trigger for having a mayor. The barony can actually be triggered anywhere over 20, depending on what's actually going on. Also depending on your overall value. Like if I just right click out of that one and then just hover over here, you can see there that we've got essentially a value of a created wealth of only 35,000, which is fairly low, but it's still enough for us to then get over the threshold to then have a barony. So anyway, let's just go back into the noble screen again. So the mayor essentially is now a higher level manager in the actual fortress. By the way, if Lemel, like I don't think I can click on her. If we just go back across into our people, and we'll have a quick look at it for Lemel back in through here. There she is, the Baroness of Paint Daubs. If she has specific wants or needs, there's this could become mandates or desires that she then has as the Baroness. So we probably want to have a bit of a look to see what her thoughts actually are about different things, personality. So if she has a very, very thick need for, so her tongue sticks out when she's trying to remember something, she scratches her head when she's nervous. So she's done tell us there, actually here we go, needs. Overall, she is unfocused by unmet needs. She's level-headed after spending time with people. She's troubled after staying away. There's nothing much really in there. This is just how she's been affected by moods. If we have a look at preferences, so she likes borax, tin, cresso beryl, the colour cardinal, so like a red, gauntlets, amulets, catapult parts, turkeys for their wattle, and the site of the mellow meadow. Where possible, she prefers to, I don't know what that is, that may be a book or something like that. We'll have a look and see if we can find out what that one actually is. When possible, she prefers to consume giant sperm whale and radish wine. She absolutely detests slugs. Okay, so the mellow meadow, let's just have a bit of a look, see if we can go back through the mellow meadow. Is that going to show up in here somewhere? Because that may be something we want to then sort of get hold of if it is. Meadow of the Ashes. I don't know what the mellow meadow is, but if she wants to be looking at it. No, I can't see it there. That's everything we've actually got. So we've got a few things here that we can actually have, but there's no mellow meadow. Now that may still mean that there still could be something else. Named objects, okay. Lemel's figure taxes, family heirloom. Written content. Oh, here we go. This will be hidden through here. Now there's a fair bit of it in here. The mellow meadow. So it'll be in here somewhere, I would think. I'll just pause and have a bit of a look through. No, I can't find it anywhere. I've had a look through the locations as well. There's nothing called the Mellow Meadow, so I'm not sure what that actually is. It's certainly not in the books in the fortress. If we go to written content, there's nothing here at the fortress that's actually got that information. So yeah, I don't know where that actually is. Hopefully it'll come up at some point and we'll then be able to make use of it. But it's nice to sort of know what their needs and requirements are. She doesn't look like she's going to be too much of a pain. You can, if you're min-maxing, sort of try to figure out, okay, who's got the least amount of needs or the ones that we can satisfy, and then we can sort of deal with it. But we won't worry about that one through there. So anyway, that's great. Now, let's talk about the surrounding lands as to what's going to happen with that. And so if we go and have a look at if we just center on the fort, so our fort is in here. So we've got this is the Dwarven Fortress of Paint Daubs. Now anything within 6 tiles of this could end up becoming one of our holdings. If we go, at the moment we've got 1 holding, which is Paint Daubs. If we end up with more holdings that then, that we can sort of get hold of, once we get over 4 or 4 and over, we then become not just a barony but a count. We can be, so she should be a countess. I think it's a countess, then a duchess, and then eventually she could end up becoming a monarch of the civilization. And at that point, we end up getting a group of other people then come into the fortress as well. But this is sort of long term. So you can certainly use the nobility as a progression system for your own enjoyment in the game. Just in terms of trying to sort of get to the next level, I guess that's an objective in the just if you are trying to find something to actually get out of the game, then try to make it into a monarchy. By the way, when you do end up with a monarchy at your location, that's when they get adventure mode in, you can then actually specify that you want a specific person from that location to then go out as your adventurer. So it gives you other benefits to ultimately get to that particular point in time. You can also have the monarch come and actually stay with you, so that you can actually end up attracting a monarch in as well. But in this case, the Fortress of Paint Daubs. Now we've got we've got one in through here, the Dwarven Fort of Sprinkledorp. A population of 100. They are not part of ours at this point in time, but they may decide to come and join us. And it can be really anything: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even massive steel. This one won't join us because we're at war with it. But you can have. It doesn't have to just be dwarves that join you. It can't be undead, of course. I don't think it can anyway. But what else have we got that's close by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up through here, it's the Dark Goblin Pits. They may decide to actually, fall under our suzerainship or whatever it's called, suzerainty, and all of these as well. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty. I think it's actually a square. Like all of these could end up ultimately being under our control. They may decide that, okay, look, we do want to actually join under your rule, under your rule. So the Baroness may actually acquire other holdings over time. So the number of holdings dictates the level of their nobility. So that's where we are at this stage with 1 holding. So this is our current holding in through this side, which is just Paint Daubs. Hope that explains how the higher level nobility sort of then gets to work. And so and the blue means that this is our current civilization as well. So that's sort of all done. We'll just click on done in through that side. Back to nobility again. Now as we sort of go back through them again, so we are going to have to change things up for these guys and actually work on that. We'll do that this episode. The next thing we'll have a look at is the champion. Now you can allocate anyone to be the champion. They will tend to be a good fighter, and I don't think we've got anyone that really is. Like if we just go and have a bit of a look at this point in time, no relevant skills. There's just no one. It's good enough. And what these will then do is these are, and you can designate them at any time. Like you can actually you can replace them, and there's no negative with doing that. But the champion will then give demonstrations to your military, and so they're sort of like a high-end veteran, essentially, of the fortress that you can sort of then use to impart information onto the other rest of the military. Now, the captain of the guard has replaced the sheriff. So the sheriff is now gone. You'll sort of notice there's no more sheriff. The captain of the guard is now the person in charge of justice. It is fairly important we have someone in this role. Now, to min-max this one, you don't want to have anyone sort of too violent because you don't want anyone that can actually sort of like king punch someone and actually kill them. They will tend to... They and their group, actually there's another thing with this. Let's just go and add in another one of these. So we've got no one with any really relative skills. Let's just go in and bring in pretty much anyone at this stage. I'm not really about min-maxing this particular run. You can have a bit of a look through to see, okay, well, who should we place in this particular role? I don't really mind so much. I'm just going to run with it. So I think we might just get one of the women in. So Kivish, and that's another thing as well. But so often, if you're trying to min-max the game, you will not put women in the military or female dwarves in the military for the simple reason if they have babies, they will carry the babies into battle. Now, the captain of the guard is a little bit different. These are for fortress security. Now, it may still get out of hand, which is what we saw in a fair few episodes ago now, where the humans went a bit crazy. And so they do have to dispense justice. And so it is a good idea to have some members of their particular group, but don't let them get too trained up. They're just literally there just to keep the peace. And so I think I'll put any one of these really. I'll put Kivish. She can be the captain of the guard. That's not a problem. They also then have requirements. Now, the Dungeon Master is a bit of a weird role. We don't have to fill it. This is sort of like the Master of the Hounds in medieval sort of times, where they would actually look after the war animals of the fortress. They would train animals, so they're like an animal trainer. But they also do have other roles as well. So they're almost like they're fairly high up, but I don't think we'll bother about putting someone in that role. They're not super important. Actually, the other thing they do is a bit of intrigue. They can try to recruit agents, and they can try to let's do it. Screw it. This is an easy one. We'll just go grab another peasant in through here. So Kip. So I should have looked for someone with higher. Actually, what I'll do is look for animal trainers. Let's have a look and see what we've got as animal trainers. Anyone's the highest level animal trainer, we'll make that the Dungeon Master in this instance. So we're just going to go to labour menus. We've got none of them in there. So we'll just go to add a new work detail, and we'll just go to animal training as this one in through this side. And just click on done. I just want to see who is actually at the top of this particular listing. If I click on that one through there, hardly anyone actually. So it's really no one at all. So no one has actually got any skills with animal training. I think we'll just ignore this one in this case. So let's just delete that. Well, that's an easy way to just see who's got the best. You can see there when it's by miners, it'll then sort by how good they are at mining, woodcutters, who their best woodcutters are, hunters, etc., etc. We can start to sort of go through what their skill levels would actually be. Yes, we're just told that one not to do any actual anything else in through that side and through there. So anyway, that's okay. We'll just go back in, and so I won't appoint a Dungeon Master because I don't have a good enough animal trainer. When we get a good animal trainer, I will then put them in as a Dungeon Master. Does that make sense? I hope that's sort of making sense as to what their role actually is. The Militia Commander, the Passionate Rocks. Now this was Toulon was here originally. We were using this for the policing of any problem in the fortress, and that's still going to be relevant, but we'll ultimately then make this into the actual military of the fortress, where they go off and do actual fighting. So this will be the main military that we end up having for the fortress itself. And the Captain of the Guard will also then have another squad, which we'll actually assign pretty much right now, and have them also going. Manager doesn't change, Chief Medical Dwarf doesn't change, Broker and Bookkeeper don't change. Now we can appoint new militia captains back into here. Now the Messenger is only required if we go and get other holdings and we want to then make requests to bring people back in, or we want to if we have someone that's a problem in our fortress, we can what's it called? Not extradite them. We can banish them to the other holding. So we can sort of move things around. And the Messenger is a little bit like the Outpost Liaison, where we can manage those interactions by using the Messenger. We don't need to because we've only got one holding. If we get another holding, then we'll bring a Messenger in and do something else with that one there. So that's the Hammer as well. Like this is our Executioner. I won't bother with the Hammer just yet. I think once we sort of, actually maybe we will. Is anyone a Hammer Dwarf? There's no one with any skills. We just don't have anyone that's actually skillful. I'll keep on looking at Kib. Kib could be the Hammerer, and but I think maybe I'll put Kib in as the Hammerer. And this is the Executioner of the fortress. Essentially, it's not just actually it's more the sheriff and that would actually do previously, and now the captain of the guard would actually dispense the justice, but the hammerer does get called in to do the killing. And so I will actually I'll put Kib in that role there. And we'll sort of see that the hammerer also has no real requirement other than when it's required, he will then come and do his duty and essentially execute whoever needs to be executed. So we now need to, this episode will now be more focused on the justice system, I guess, from this point forward, and the nobility system. So we've got some other requirements in through here. We no longer have, our mayor is actually got better stuff than what he requires. He just needs a decent study, decent quarters, and a decent dining room. But his actual quarters at the moment are splendid, like splendid study, great bedroom, which would actually be more applicable, I think, to the Baroness. So let's have a look and see where we are with that, and then we'll come back and deal with the justice system. So if we just go back down to, is it F4, F5, F3? Just got to find the bedroom layer. Yep. So in through here. At the moment, we've got the mayoral quarters are in through here with some pretty amazing beds, I think. Yeah, this tower cap bed is worth 1,000, so this is a very, very expensive bed. I've put other expensive beds in through here as well, so we can sort of see, what are these worth? That's worth 110. We can have just a quick look. So I've just anything that's high value, I'm just putting into this particular role. Now we're going to have nobility throughout this part of the fortress, so this is where our nobles will start to live, and we'll shuffle them around. And so if we go across into where things actually are, I'm going to be wanting the Baroness to move into this lot of quarters, so we'll just go and place her in there. So at the moment this is Vabok and Udib, which we don't need to have in there, so we're going to now move that one across and make this into the, actually this one should be, hang on, what's the value of this bed? Is this the 1,000? That's 1,000. This one here is also 1,000. So I think what we'll do is we'll reshuffle what's happening in through this side. It looks like we've got some pretty good. Yeah, this is actually already heading in the right direction for the Baroness. We'll just go and channel out another section through there, and so I'll make this into the Baroness's quarters. So we'll just go across. Whoops, back into here. So we're just going back into the zone mode, and we're just now going to change Odom. It's going to be out of there, and the Baroness will now be placed into that particular role. So she's now moving across into this area. She was over here, but it wasn't quite good enough. Let's just go back across. Lemol back in through that side. And now, as far as the mayor is concerned, the mayor can then sort of now move into these quarters. So the mayor is, there we go. Now, when DF hack comes, there is actually a thing that you can actually then have to help with all of this, so that you can end up having like an auto mayor types of arrangement. Whoever's mayor gets these particular quarters. So the Baroness will end up with these. What we might do now that we've got a few people is just go and smooth these all out as well, just to sort of get things so that they're at least starting to look fairly good. Back through this side, and you've got to be careful I don't sort of do anything too much else in through that other side there. That's all good at this point in time. We'll let them dig themselves out. What else what other needs do we actually have? So we can see through there that the Baroness has now got good enough in through this side. We're not quite up to it in here with the mayor. So we just need to improve that one slightly. We'll have a bit of a look at that one. The captain of the guard also does require some other places, and the chief medical dwarf now, that's the Baroness, so that's all we require through there. So the captain of the guard now, I think I will actually allow the captain of the guard to live in with the other nobles, and rather than actually being a separate area, because we don't want a barracks for that particular group, because we don't want them too aggressive. This is the group that we want to have as essentially a friendly police force in the actual fortress itself. So what do we need there? Just a study, quarters, and a dining room, and it's of no great, they don't need anything too much. So let's just move off from this other side in through here. So just 3 more rooms. So we'll channel those out through there. Okay, that gets that bit of it done. Now let's go to our military. if we go and create a new squad, you can see there we've now got two different ways of doing the squads. Previously we only had basically we had to have a militia captain, but we now have captain of the guards squad, and so this is going to be the Fortress Police Force. So I'm just going to go and click on that one through there. And in this case, I want them to basically probably just wear leather armour, I think. We'll just make that their uniform. And so we'll just go and get those assigned. So these are called the Ferocious Lancers. Actually, I like that. That looks good. And so this is the police force. Now, it's got no special orders. Remember when we spoke about the military, that we actually needed to change what their schedule was? So I'm just going to go and make this one into ready, rather than off-duty. So they're going to be ready all the time, meaning that they're going to then go and grab their equipment, whatever their equipment happens to be. It doesn't matter if they carry weaponry. They still may need it. Let's go and add a few members to this particular group. So we'll just go across, and so Kivish is the one in charge. She is the captain of the guard. And we'll just go and assign a few others. Now we've got, again, no relevant skills. I'm just going to get more peasants to be these people. So... and we just want to get them that aren't already in the other military at this point in time. So Dayton in through that side. A few more peasants down this way as well. So Thikut. I'll get about 5 of them so that they can, if there is a ruckus, they can come and sort it out. These will also then do any investigations. So I'm not going to worry too much about putting males or females into these. Just whoever's the next peasant in line. So Kubik. And so there we have 5. That will do us. That will be our police force. Now they'll only be called in as required. So that's sort of where we are with that one. And now let's work out our justice system, because now we have a need, now that we've got or we will actually have these people sort of starting to look after the justice of the fortress, we need to make sure that we've got a place for prisoners and how they're going to be then kept. And we need to make sure we have enough prison cells to look after everybody. So otherwise, what they will tend to do is if somebody gets caught for a very small misdemeanor, the punishment, if there's not enough cells, the punishment may be then changed to something more aggressive, and we don't want that. Because people will be in prison for all sorts of little things once this actually gets going. It's fun, actually. It is fun the way it sort of does work. So let's go and find a place for the prison. Now, we didn't use this one here. This is fairly central in the fortress. I think we might use this. So I'm thinking of whether we actually place it somewhere else. I sort of don't mind having them so that they're away from everyone else, as in a bit more of an exile type arrangement. But it is it's a correction facility. So I think we'll actually make it off this way. We'll just make it go off to the right. So let's just go and dig another area back and through here for the cells. And these are basically just little bedrooms. I'll just make a few of them. I don't need to make it that big. In fact, what I might do is channel out the whole lot. We can have some fun with bars and things like this once we get going. So let's just go and do this. So we'll wait till we've got this all channeled out, and then we'll sort of figure out. That's 8 cells. That should be enough. And then we'll sort of end up putting bars and doors, so it'll look like an actual prison. But we want this to be fairly friendly, a fairly comfortable place for the prisoners. This is also relatively close to the actual fortress itself, so they can certainly get food down into them if required. Anyway, I'll come back once we've actually got all this stuff dug out. So there's nothing else really for us to do. We haven't done the trading yet, have we? Yep, so that's all happened. Migrants have appeared. That's all okay. And I think I'll just do the trading, but I won't record that. It's just going to be fairly basic. Just going through the trading, I might just quickly just talk about what I'm doing here. I'm looking for anything with an X on it in particular. Anything with a bracket means it's come from outside, which means this is dead people's clothes. So let's just offload it back to the mountain homes. Even though we're above into the green areas now, we'll keep it going. We'll just keep it going, I think. So we want to keep the ropes, but anything with X or XX essentially means that it's been worn and it's almost over and done with. So we'll just grab those, and then I'm just going to undo. I'll just see if there's any other clothing through the rest there. It doesn't look like there is. No, that's okay. So I'll just move it back up now and just get a few of the other things that I had put in that we probably don't want to be selling if we can do it. Again, I don't mind leaving a lot of stuff. So I've gone with the whole bin through here. Let's just unclick that. Even with that one gone, it's still green. I'm happy with that. Let's just go and offload all of this clothing that we've actually got from outside. It's free money for us, basically. So let's just go and trade that. So that's done. He's ecstatic with the trading. He's got all these dead people's clothes now. And so off you go. Have fun. I'll pause it here, and we'll come back once we've actually got those other bits and pieces that have been etched out. Actually, this isn't going to quite work the way I've got it. I'm going to need to put one more little grouping in through here for each of the cells if we want to actually have them sort of boxed in. Whoops, I should just do that and get rid of that one. The reason being is that what we're going to need to actually then have is, like, if we have a 2x6, the thing we're going to be needing, if I just draw a little illustration back over through here, one thing we need is to put a chain and chain them up to the middle of it, and they can only, like the dogs that we've actually got, they can only move one square around, so that we want the chair to be fairly central. We're then going to need a bed in there as well, so that's two squares gone. We need a table and a chair as well. That's actually now the 4 squares gone. That's what I thought we sort of needed to actually have in there. So that allows them to sit and eat and do things like this. But we also really need to give them access to food and drink. And so we need 2 stockpiles as well, like a food and drink stockpile. So we do actually need to have 6 squares within their walking distance, not the 4. I sort of was forgetting about the food stockpile, so that's important. We'll just come back when all of this is done. Just laying out the bedroom now for the captain of the guard, so we'll just go back across and basically add these things in. So we'll just go across to the zones. So we need a bedroom. Oops, didn't quite get it where I needed it. Okay, so we'll accept that one, and we associate this one with the captain of the guard. So this is Kivish's bedroom. Then we'll make a dining room back in through this side. So I've allowed a table and a chair at this point in time. So this becomes a dining room. Where's that? A dining hall. There we go. So place that one there. Except, again, Kivish will be the one that we require for this one. And then finally we just have one more, which is going to be the office of the captain of the guard. And so we just go to office and allocate those, accept, and then Kivish then has that one there as well. Now that's all, even without any furniture in there. I think that's enough for what she requires. So if we have a look at the captain of the guard, it's okay. I mean, it will be better once there's furniture in there, but it's okay. It does require 1 chest, 1 cabinet, 1 weapon rack, 1 armor stand, but again, no quality requirement here at all. So we don't need to sort of worry too much about what's going to happen with this. So what we'll do is we'll just go across. So we'll give her a chest. So actually, was it a cabinet that was required? I just can't remember exactly what she did require. 1 chest, 1 cabinet. Okay, 1 chest, 1 cabinet. So we'll just go and do that. We'll put the cabinet back in through her bedroom. So again, if I've got good quality cabinets, don't waste them on her. Like, is there anything good? It doesn't really matter what we use, so I'll just use that one there. The chests, furniture, chest. Just place that in this room over here, I guess. And then the weapon rack and the armor stand. This is under military. Weapon rack, I'll place that one over this side. Again, I've got some really high quality stuff. We don't waste that there. We use that for other things. So the weapon rack, and then we just use the armor stand as well. So military, armor stand. And again, I think I've got some good quality ones in here somewhere. Maybe I don't. Yes, I do. I've got 1 good quality armor stand. So we'll place those into there. We'll reserve the others for the Baroness. So the Baroness will ultimately end up with this area in through here. So I will actually start to put in what is required in this particular area as well. So if we just go back across to the placement, military, and this time I do go to my high level weapon stands and armor racks. So I've got these granite, these are worth thousands, so I'm just going to place them in there. I think the second one is worth a hell of a lot. And then we just go back, and I had a look before. Furniture, military, armor stand. Now I've got one in through there. I might just place another one in the bedroom just to raise that one as well. And again, I've got like a very, very high quality one through there. And so this ultimately, once this is all done, will sort of work out fairly well. How are we going with our miners? Digging, they're both digging. Where are you digging? Okay, they're digging this area out. That's cool. All right, so while they're digging these, let's start to get this justice system sorted. And so what we need to do through here is, I think I'm going to need to ultimately, I don't know if I've got any ways, if I go to constructions, you can see that I've got like grates, but I've also got vertical bars or floor bars. Now, if I've got bars of metal, I can then make use of this. Let's just see if we've got any. Yeah, we've got some rose gold bars, just one of them. All right, so we'll make one cell out with rose gold bars in the doorway. We'll go and grab a door for that one as well. So we'll just place a door next to it. And it doesn't really matter. If we had high quality doors, I'd probably throw one into here. The quality of this does actually help with the I guess with the redemption of the prisoner. Now, if we had really good quality chain, I'd put that in here as well. We may sort of replace that one. We don't actually have any metal chains. I'll make some silver chains for this system as well. But we'll just get one of these established to start with. So cages and restraints, we just then go and get a rope or chain. And I'm just going to place that in the middle of the room because everything has to be within a one square radius around this particular one. And so I've only got ropes. I do actually have a good quality rope in through here. So I'll go and grab that one. And so that one at least will be better quality than the others actually were. And so what we'll do is we'll just go across, we'll add a bed at the back. So we'll just go into here, furniture, bed. Probably because of these rocks in here, it's going to have a bit of a problem. Yep, just grab one of those beds. I'm not going to bother putting great quality beds and things in the prison. Table. Place that one through there, Gabbro table. A chair. Sorry, a chair in through here as well. So furniture, chair. Place that one in there as well. So that's the rock salt thrones will be fine. And then literally in these last two squares, we just need to create some very, very small stockpiles. So I'm just going to go and create, sorry, not a zone, a stockpile. Add. And so in this case, we're going to accept that one. And this one is going to be a food stockpile. We're going to go to custom. And we're just going to go to none, but allow prepared meals. So with that one selected, I'm pretty sure that's all meat. Yeah, no, we don't want to have meat, so that's just none. Just prepared meals in through there. So prepared meals will end up in that one, and then we just want to have a drink one next to it. So we go to add, and accept, food, custom, and in this case, I'm just going to go none, and then just go down to plant drinks, which is sort of what we got most of it, and pretty much anything. Doesn't really matter what it is. Now, if we had a well, I could actually then have like a well that they then get access to in every single room if we wanted to do that one instead of having the drink stockpile. But let's just do that. That is basically our prison setup. I might even change the layout of this a little bit. Oh no, that's okay. That's okay where that is. It's sort of that sort of works. So that's each cell will essentially have that. They'll then just channel it out, but we need more bars to sort of make this all then work. Now, as far as actually making this into a jail system, I'll just go and I forget exactly how to do that through here. It will be in this dungeon. So prisoners convicted in the justice system can be incarcerated at a chain or metal cage in the dungeon zone. And so I'm just going to go across. I think I can just make this into the whole area as the actual dungeon zone itself. Yeah, it's starting to sort of try to make sense of this one here. So it's got 47 squares. We'll just accept that one. And at this stage, that's sort of what we've got. Let's go and start to smooth this out as well. Again, it's all helps with the rehabilitation. So they're placing the beds. Are they? Not yet. Just get rid of all this stuff. Let them sort of build all the bits and pieces. That's been placed. Now, was that one placed? Resume construction. I don't know what to do with this other one. There we go. Got the bed there. So it's been moved across. This is probably, I'll just resume this one. They're going to have trouble simply because of what's been placed there. That's been placed on the area. So that is our cell, our very, very first cell. We've got the vertical rose gold bars in through this side. This will ultimately all be smoothed out, and happy days. There's our first one. Now we can just keep on coming and putting more walls in if we wanted to, but we do want to get all of this sort of then working and ultimately get it as at reasonable quality. But that at least is our dungeon system. And that's pretty much all we have to do here, I think. If you have a look on this one. New end, yeah, there's nothing else we have to do there, so it's the location is fine with what it does do. So it's just an unnamed dungeon. I'll just keep it as dungeon. When we have a look at the actual areas, the zones, dungeon will then just appear. So there's 0 imprisoned, 1 available. There we go. That's pretty much done. I'll now start to sort of build more and more of these. Once we get our metal system, I'll then sort of really incorporate it. I'll just keep it as one at the moment, and we'll just keep track of what happens with the justice system. Just to finish that off, even though we don't actually have a need for the justice system just yet, they will then use this down through here, the justice system in through this side. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So we actually had the theft of match chilled. So witness was Enod Wanderglove, saw that the object was missing on the date of the in Hermitite. That was a long time ago, actually. So we can interrogate who was there. This is open cases, cold cases, back and through this side for the Fortress Guard. No cases assigned. So we can actually assign them with actual cases if we wanted to. Convicts, none. Intelligence. So we can actually just go and interrogate. So actually, who was that one? I'll just go back and have another look. This is Enod Wanderglove. Enod, where are you? I can just ask what actually happened. Assuming that's Enod there. Is that the only Enod that we've got? Yeah, no, there's too much stuff going on. No witnesses. Actually, there's nothing there. I think we'd be needing to actually find somebody. So yeah, so something has been stolen. That was outside actually. We saw that one. I remember that one now. It was actually a artifact that was sitting on the ground and that had been dropped by one of the people that were slaughtered by the undead, and so it was taken from there. I don't think any of us actually had it. It would show up in here, I think, if it was going to be anywhere. I'm pretty sure we didn't actually. I did look for it at the time and couldn't find it. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually exist. Yeah, these are things that we're aware of, sort of, with what's going on. But we're not seeing that one there at all. Okay, well, look, guys, I'm going to leave this episode here. Thanks for watching. We're sort of getting through the different bits and pieces. There's a lot to cover in the game. It's so detailed, but it's so rewarding to play. God, it's so damn good. I'll leave it there and then we'll come back. I'll probably start to try to make silver things in the next episode, at least to sort of get all of these things sorted and to start to then make some weaponry and some armor. We'll see how we go. I do need to get like a good run at the at doing these sorts of things. But now that we've actually gone through, actually we just have one last look at the bedroom layers. Actually, they were further down, weren't they? Down through here. This has now been channeled out. So we need to get a dining room in through here again as well. So we'll just go across and I'll just finish it off with this one here. So dining room, we're just going to go across to our furniture, table. Don't have anything too special with the tables. Furniture, chair, granite chair. Then we've got the we need to put a door in there. And we still need to actually add in a cabinet. So I'll put a cabinet in the back room there. So constructions, oops, not constructions. Furniture, cabinets. Again, I've got nothing special there, unfortunately, to sort of place into that particular room. What's that one like? That's nothing too much either. We will smooth all of this out as well. So now that we've actually got that one, and we just go to the zones, if we have a look at the at what we've actually got through this side, we'll just go across and create a dining room. accept. Add this one to the Baroness. Okay, and if we have a quick look now at the results of what we've actually got. Actually, why didn't that take? Oh, yeah, it did. Okay, that's fine. So if we have a quick look at the requirements that they've actually now got. Oh, we need a tomb as well. And so the dining room is substandard. The other things are actually good enough. Like it's we've got an opulent throne room, a great bedroom. We've got a meagre dining room, so we need to really work on the dining room, try to get something of greater value in there. Now that can be another one of the really good beds that we've got. It could even be another one of these armor stands. In fact, if I just do that, if I just go across into furniture, actually not furniture, military, I had another weapon rack which was good, very good quality. So I'll throw that one in there. That's worth 1,000, and this will then just increase the value of these rooms. So I don't have to just stick with what they requested. I'll have a quick look at the nobility there again. And yeah, it's only tombs is all we actually require. Now, they've got one chest needs 2 chests. This is the mayor. So the mayor needs another chest. So I'll just go and throw another chest in the mayoral quarters. Do we need another chest in amongst here? I would have thought we would have, to be honest. Let's have another look. Yeah, no, she actually does. She already has the 2 chests. So it is just now a tomb, and she just needs any old tomb. It doesn't have to be anything too special. But let's go and make sure it is something that is quite special. So we'll just go and place a tomb. Again, this is taking a long time, but let's just finish this off. So we'll go back down to where we've got our tombs, which are deeper down. Here they are. And so these were going to be the nobles' tombs at the back end of the actual fortress. So place structures, furniture, burial. Just place that one in there. We've got just standard coffins. We don't have anything too special just yet. Let's go and get something that's a little bit better quality. Close off with a door, so it becomes like a mausoleum. Granite door. And we might also, I think, smooth out this one so that at least it's nicely smoothed. And so that will become her tomb. And she's an important person. She's the first Baroness of the fortress. And so now we actually just go into here, go to tombs, allocate that as her tomb, accept, and then we give it to her. So Lemel is now got the tomb. And so even though it hasn't been placed yet, if we now go back to the to what she's got required, and so she requires, at the moment it's just a grave, but that will become better over time. She will end up with an actual, like once we actually smooth it all out and put the coffin in, and then we can start to put other knickknacks in just to bring it up to the better quality. But at least we've now got reasonable things now allocated to all of the different nobility. So anyway, that was a fairly long episode, but we did the nobility and the justice system, which I think is a good. We did a lot actually. That was actually fairly good. Didn't get any holdings, unfortunately. That would have been cool to have sort of seen them come in. We certainly got the prospect of getting them because we've got so many things that are nearby. Some of them may decide to come and be under our governorship. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.